Hey, I'm CDiinky, and in today's video, I'll be going over my best tips and tricks guide for all of the new players going into New Game Plus. I'll be going over what are the best weapons, what is the best method to farm these upgrade resources, and many more. And just before we get into things, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below. I'd really appreciate that. This channel is growing so much since 1.4 has dropped. And for someone who has legitimately live streamed their entire New Game Plus playthrough up to New Game Plus 6 as of right now in this video, I'm pretty sure I have a good understanding of New Game Plus, and I'm about to teach you guys the things that I've learnt. So starting off at the very start of New Game Plus, go to the ASL and pick up the very first best weapon in the entire game, the Frosted Flake. This is just like the Sour Battle Axe but in fresh, and as we all know, the Sour Battle Axe is just broken. Now this has fresh on it, it's even stronger. So the best weapons in Grounded New Game Plus on its own are the battle axes, the fresh battle axe, the spicy battle axe, and finally the sour battle axe. And make sure you guys level up these battle axes a lot, as this has carried me throughout my entire New Game Plus playthrough so far. Now we know what the best weapons in New Game Plus are. What are the easiest ways to get the infused crystals to upgrade our weapons? And that is to farm up a bunch of the early game creatures. Preferably you would like to do this in either New Game Plus 1 or 2. Anything above New Game Plus 3, you pretty much get one shot even on the easiest difficulty in the game. So I implore you, please stick on New Game Plus 1 or 2 when playing New Game Plus right now. So the bugs to kill to get these new infused upgrades for your weapons, you're going to need to fight the bugs that have a purple glow on it, have increased health and modifiers. You're wanting to kill any of the red worker ants or soldier ants, any of the lawn mites or spiderlings. These are the easiest creatures to kill in Grounded as they are tier 1. You can also go to the hedge and break some of the web stacks to have increased chance of getting an infused spiderling. And if you did not know, an infused spiderling and an infused blackox beetle drop the exact same amount of ooze. Unless of course you have enabled loot lock to a spiderling or a blackox beetle and the dissection expert mutation. You guys might also be asking what are the easiest ways to get the new trinkets. This is the science, the cones, or the waffles. They are dropped from every creature in the backyard, infused or not infused, only available in New Game Plus. And I would definitely recommend having the dissection expert mutation equipped, as this will increase your chances of getting any of these trinkets. And to increase your drop chance of the waffles or cones, you would need to go more into New Game Plus. So I'm sitting on New Game Plus 6, and almost every single bug and chest will drop a cone because I'm that far into New Game Plus. If you did not know, the crinkle trinket has 1 random modifier, the waffle trinket has 2 random modifiers, and the cone finally has 3 random modifiers. And if you didn't know, you can also dupe these in the super duper for an expensive amount of raw science, and every time you dupe these items, it will have a new random effect. So you can go ahead and farm the super dupe if you want using the save scumming method, so you don't waste up on like 50,000 raw science. And the best modifiers to have on these trinkets in my opinion are either Mad Scientist, which is just an all-round broken weapon. I have a separate video on that if you guys would like to check that out. Also having either boss damage or a specific boss such as Wasp Queen damage, Mantis boss damage, etc. Finale Fury, which is having the battle axe speed attack on any weapon. Finale Goo, which on every third hit slows down enemies' attacks and movement speed. Any of the critical hit, minor, up, or best. And finally, any of the elemental weapons, minor, up, or best, as having 1, 2, or even 3 of these on a single trinket will increase your damage substantially. And in New Game Plus, the bugs are beefier and you're going to need all the damage you can get. And now when it comes to the best armor set in New Game Plus, I would definitely recommend having One Piece Broodmother, One Piece Fire Ant, and One Piece Mantis, as damage over time effects have definitely been buffed in New Game Plus as it scales with enemies' HP. And the reason for One Piece Fire Ant, as it has a chance to apply corrosion to any enemy, which reduces their defense by a massive amount. If it pairs with the Chopper mutation, it just has double reduced armor, which is just fantastic, and you almost shred every single enemy, especially in New Game Plus 1, 2, and even 3. Now when you're fighting any of the enemies or bosses, I would definitely recommend drinking up some smoothies. These smoothies are going to be sticky versions of the Liquid Rage, Human Food, and Boss Sauce. I would definitely recommend you go ahead and super dupe these to duplicate more, because it's a lot cheaper than just having to farm a bunch of resources just to craft one, when you can just spend 1 to 2,000 raw science for another smoothie. And for a meal, I'll either recommend having the Spider Slider for increased crit chance, or the new Perfect Toast meal. You only find 2 of these in the remixer room per world, unless you want to go ahead and duplicate them for I think 7,500 raw science, which is just amazing. The Perfect Toast increases your critical hit chance and your critical hit damage, and all round is just an amazing meal. I'll definitely recommend for having at least 1 Perfect Toast every single boss fight you do. Speaking of boss fights, when I've been streaming my New Game Plus playthrough, I have people in my chat all the time asking me, CDiinky, how did you defeat the New Game Plus 1 Mantis or Wasp Queen? I say to them flat out, it is full RNG, as because the bosses now have random modifiers. So for any boss fight that does a scream that can harm you and that you cannot perfect block, such as the Hedge Broodmother and Mantis, you do not want them to have the Venom effect, because this will always proc every single time they screech, as once again you cannot perfect block this attack. For the Wasp Queen, I would definitely recommend that she does not have the high resistance silences, as her summons in New Game Plus are just like regular wasps, and she is quite difficult to kill if you have too many drones healing her, and that high defense just means she can't be killed at all. When it comes to the man boss fight and Director Schmeckter, make sure they do not have the sour stun attack, because as they do this, there's going to be a bunch of sour orbs in the boss fight, and because their boss fight arena is quite small, the sour orbs are going to be bouncing all around the room, leaving you with little to no room to work around with, and the sour orbs have a massive AoE hit, which will almost one-shot you in higher New Game Plus difficulties. And finally, when it comes to the infected Broodmother, make sure she does not have the shock on hit, the sour attack, the staff attack, the explosive attack. Pretty much all the modifiers for the infected Broodmother are broken right now. Now, when it comes down to the Javamatic, if you are a solo player in New Game Plus, I would highly recommend you chuck this down into mild difficulty. As for one player, there are just too many bugs in New Game Plus that spawn in the final defense for you to take care of. So in mild difficulty, this will slow down the attack rate of the enemies, which will mean that your base won't get destroyed straight away. And also, the buildings do not scale in New Game Plus. So if you play on medium or low, the fireflies are pretty much going to one-shot your ash walls, which I've encountered many times. And speaking of the fireflies in the final defense, make sure you take these guys out first, as once again in groups they will literally destroy all your ash walls in just a few hits. And make sure you do not group them up too much, as you'll be thrown around like a pinball in a pinball machine, because their goo attack just stun you and then stun you and then stun you, and you really can't do anything. And now when it comes to the molars in New Game Plus, if you skip out on any molars in New Game Plus 1 and go into 2, you will never be able to get those buffs on your character ever again. So make sure you collect up as many as you can. But if you do not want to spend an eternity in every New Game Plus farming up every single milk molar, I would definitely recommend you go ahead and max out your HP and your healing, and then your stamina last. You do not realistically need to worry about your hunger and thirst drain, as that isn't too much of an issue in this game. And even if you skip a few molars, it really doesn't matter. Like in my New Game Plus playthroughs, I'm not going to go ahead and farm up 6 molars and search around the entire map just for a 5% HP increase. Like, this is not worth it for me. And for all the people that are asking where are the tier 4 weapons, these are only available in New Game Plus number 4. Yes, I remember how I recommended you to say New Game Plus 1 and 2. It's because New Game Plus 3 and 4 is almost impossible for myself on medium difficulty in this current patch. So the tier 4 weapons are only available from boss drops in the New Game Plus 4. And what is the new thing about tier 4? It's just reskinned weapons, but with the purple glow effect on it, and just a random modifier, just like the trinkets. And the tier 4 weapons don't even seem stronger than its pre-tier 3 versions. It's just, once again, it just has a random modifier on it, and you can switch up these modifiers once again by doing the super duper glitch and the save scumming for the best drop. And is it really worth it doing it right now? Absolutely not. If you take one tip away from this video, it's to stay in New Game Plus 1 and 2 on this current patch. But that there is going to be the end of today's video, guys. If you did enjoy this video, please make sure to leave a like and a subscribe, or even a comment down below about your New Game Plus tips for any of the players who are once again starting New Game Plus. Also, at this point of recording, make sure to check out the streams that I do daily for Grounded New Game Plus, so possibly you might see me live doing Grounded New Game Plus 6, which is next on our live stream bucket list. But with all that said, hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.